the live. You're the first one here. Well, leave me a comment. Thank you for liking the live. Okay, some things I have found out. I was driving all day yesterday with my mother. I was bringing her to the lake house, so I wasn't able to pay attention and learn things about the virus. But last night when I was going to bed, I found a comment because I went into the comments where there's a lady that said, "Hey, I just ran into this lady the other day that had just been on a cruise, and she said she picked up some kind of virus on the cruise, and that she was very, very sick. She said she felt like she was going to die." I also found out that there is another cruise ship, a Carnival Princess cruise ship, that is headed back to port that has 6 people on it. It's not the same virus. Um, Another thing, a lot of channels are like deep diving, figuring things out. A channel I like to watch is called Seconds of Horror. He had found something, I don't know, a week or a couple weeks ago, Seconds of Horror, and this girl was arrested because she was stealing viruses out of 3 different universities that she worked inside their labs. Like she worked inside the labs that do like the lab grown meat, things like that. But she was arrested. What else do I know? I'm gonna read some comments. Hey, there's 4 people in here. Hi. I'll leave some comments if you want me to ask you. You want to ask some questions. I'm here in Texas right now. I have my mother with me. Say hi, Mom. I'm on a live. We're at my lake house, and I'm gonna get over there and read some comments for y'all. Oh, I have 35 people in here. All right. So I'm gonna tell y'all again. A lady that just recently got off a cruise. I read her comment last night. I'm gonna get it close. She said since she'd been off the cruise, she'd been very ill. There was a virus on the cruise, and the lady said she felt like she was going to die. There's also, I'm gonna put this right here so I can read comments. There's also, lovely at the lake. Anyway, there's also another ship that has 6 people. A Princess Cruise. Let me read some of these comments because I just found some really good comments. Here we are. Okay, maybe I don't need my glasses. I said, Barbie girl, me, Barbie girl, I said, should send a hospital ship and transfer all passengers and crew to incubate on the medical ship. It's what they should do. But the United States has sent an airplane over there to pick up the American passengers, and they're going to transport them and put them in Nebraska in quarantine. I do know there are 2 people in Houston. I mean, they're in Texas. I know there's 2 in Austin. They're already in a hospital. I just read a comment where somebody said she's in one up there in Phoenix, Arizona. There, she got a notification alert to her phone. Don't know much about that. That's kind of scary. Okay, comments. I don't believe anything this administration says or does. Me either. Deja vu. Thank you, Netherlands, for the nice gift to the world. This is an administration that called COVID a democratic lie. La la la, I didn't like that. Spain already gave them port, and now 1 or 2 of the passengers is back in Georgia, USA. God damn. I understand his pain. It's Arizona, Georgia, New Jersey, California, and Texas, and then they're going to bring them to Nebraska. I said, and Nebraska, USA, flying them to Nebraska. Let's see what else I can find out. Why does this feel exactly like early COVID? I want to find where the lady said that about getting that thing to her. Some of the people, okay, here's a good one. Some of the people infected were 4+ feet away at adjacent tables from one of the known infected people that has died. And that does not seem like close, intimate contact. The Turkish guy said for 12 additional days, there were not any precautions since they didn't know till the second case. But still, not many got it, even close quarters, which is hopeful. Now that's hopeful because let me read the comments real quick before I go. Let me read y'all's comments. Hey, hello. Hey, Annie, Mama Annie's on here. That's my cousin. What's up? Okay, I'm gonna go back and read these comments. Hello. Welcome to my live. I like the live. Double tap your screen. Okay, I mean I don't really care if you like the live or not. I'm not doing this. I'm doing this so we can keep up. Okay, here's one for you. There was a mutation in the 2018-2019 outbreak in a small village in Argentina. Most of the media is downplaying how serious this was. The prior outbreak required control measures to stop the spread. Here's the one. Meanwhile, I live in Arizona. Got a text alert, shaking my head. Look at that, y'all. Meanwhile, I live in Arizona and got a text alert, shaking my head because there's people. I think the people and I think maybe the people in Arizona are also in the hospital. I'm not positive of that. The people in Georgia, maybe, I don't know. I know in Texas they're in the hospital. Does this not look like a controlled effort to you? Agenda 30, anyone? Anybody? Would anybody like a little bite of Agenda 30? Okay, let's see what else I can find. Someone who was on the cruise ship has already returned to Arizona. That's right. They're in Memphis. Two people are in Austin, Texas. I care, but don't bring that nonsense over here. Like, I think they should have to sign, you have people sign NDAs. If you're dumb enough to get on a cruise, because I'm sorry, you can pay me to get on a cruise. I'm not trying to be on a cruise. Then you should have to agree that if something happens, you agree to stay on that boat as long as you have to if something breaks out and until your quarantine's over. You should not bring them back to land. That is crazy. There's people saying just sink the boat. I didn't say that. I did not say that. I'm saying they shouldn't be let off the boat. You're the dumbass that wanted to get on a boat, not me. Okay. Even if it's not as bad as we fear, it is. Surely it would be wiser to take more precautions with those on a cruise. I want juicy comments. I like the ones where people actually know what's going on. Let me see if I can find any good ones. Nope. What did it say? It takes prolonged contact, and why did it spread so easily on the ship? Because it's the Andes strain, and Andes strain goes from human to human contact. They're trying to act like it has to be very close contact, like sexual, but that's not true. That's not true. The flight attendant wasn't having sex with the lady. She just helped her to her seat. Okay, if it takes a very close and prolonged contact, why are the two people in New Jersey, why are they being monitored? They reportedly were not in close contact with the cruise passenger. Wait, I live in New Jersey. It doesn't spread through humans though, right? Wrong. The most common means of infection is from inhaling the dust from dried up rodent droppings. Person to person spread takes being in very close quarters with someone that's really, really sick. So I wouldn't worry about it becoming common occurrence in New Jersey or getting sick from someone that was just a passenger. That's why the administration's being so tight-lipped is dangerous. Rumors will spread because people don't understand how this spreads in okay, blah, 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 blah. Wait, you might be saying something good. Let alone in the southwest United States, such as the high deserts around northern Arizona. I don't care. This is what I think. Maybe there were some really crazy people on that cruise, like Ozzy Osbourne, Maybe they decided just to snort up some lines of dust from rodents. And they all did it together. Like, they're like, hey, this is cruise ship cocaine. Let's just snort it up. But really, it was rat. It was rat and mice dust. That's about as stupid as it sounds to me. The most common mean of infection is from inhaling the dust from a dried up rodent droppings. Person to person spread takes being in very close quarters with very close quarters with someone that's already really sick. So I wouldn't worry about it becoming a common occurrence in New Jersey or getting sick from someone that was just a passenger. That's why the administration is being so tight-lipped. It's dangerous. Rumors will spread because people don't understand. Well, that's what they had to say. Who the F let them leave? Like, my God, now you're putting the whole world in danger. Just relax. Get ready for another pandemic. We will never comply again. But in no time, they will say, I want good ones. Okay, here's somebody that knows what's up. It was 23 people that jumped ship in St. Helene. 7 of those people returned to the U.S. They have no idea of their whereabouts. That's not true. There's 2 in Texas. They don't know how many of them are in California. 2 or 3 in Georgia. 2 that we know of in New Jersey, and there was 2 in Phoenix. And then America sent a ship over there to the Canary Islands, and they're going to fly back, I think, about 17 Americans, and they're going to send them to Nebraska where they'll quarantine them. Um, Okay, it was 23 people that jumped ship in St. Helene. 7 of those people returned to the U.S. They have no idea of their whereabouts. They're trying to water this down. This is worse than COVID. All right, let me tell you something that I watched the other night, and you all need to watch it. It's a channel called Shock, SHOCH, and she's been covering the Epstein files. She's normally just entertainment. But she covered, after this Hantavirus started, she covered some of the files where Gates and Epstein and somebody else are talking about how do you invent a virus that will get rid of poor people. It really said get rid of poor people. And so they were working on something. So we all know that there's an agenda to depopulate. But what we don't know is next, hey Myers, after they depopulate, then there's an agenda to repopulate with the designer babies and the humans that that are superior to us, I guess. Okay, and I'll tell you something else I found out. If you'll all go to my community post, you can find pictures of it. But supposedly, word is, remember when Melania came out and did her little speech about she doesn't know anything about Epstein? Well, I saw in the comments, because I read my comments, and the comment is in my post, and I don't know if I can go find it and stay on the line. But supposedly, when Melania was 15, she had a baby by Epstein. He was he was getting a lot of women pregnant the same way Elon Musk is supposed to have 50 kids. Anyway, they said that that Jeffrey and Melania have a child. When Melania was 15 years old, she had a child by him. They gave me the girl's name. That girl's 40 years old now. Melania's 55, and the girl looks just like Melania and Epstein. And I have plenty of pictures of her. So if you're not subscribed to my channel, subscribe to my channel. When you go, there's a place where you can look at community. And then I post. So I have the comment I found about that being their daughter. And she's some kind of DJ. And she's been on magazines and stuff. And she looks a lot like Melania, but she's got her daddy's chin, and like from the profile. I put a lot of pictures so y'all can see, but in also the Shock channel, she covers those Epstein files, and she's very thorough about it, so I've learned a lot about that. And I will say that DT is in there a lot. And, well, we already know about all our lovely presidents. They're compromised. Okay, let me see if I can find any more out about this. Let me read some comments. Anybody have any questions? Okay, the Netherlands and Argentina are involved. Does Dutch Queen, WEF, have anything to do with it? And once again, it is the senior civil servants who pass on this nonsense down to the lowest tier. And everyone around them is once again expected to go along with it. I think that Queen's involved in the Epstein things, whether another lab modified version of what is impossible to spread just like that. And that's exactly right. Because in the Epstein files, they were talking about how they could tweak a virus to, they were talking about something called the Vardis. A man wrote a book about it. It's something in our brain that tells the body to heal itself. And they had figured out a way to bioengineer that part so it would not let the body heal itself. Vargas, I don't know. You'll have to go to that Spill channel. And also, if you'll go to my playlist on my channel, my playlist, look at the Hantavirus playlist. I have that video, the Spill video, about where she covers where we think this is another, modified virus for population control. If you just, like, when you get there, go ahead and go to her channel after you watch that, watch her other videos about the files. They're about 25 minutes long, and they're very detailed, and they're scary. Why does nobody go live? Okay, let me find some stuff. Y'all just sit tight. My girl left me today. I'm shattered. I'm sorry. That's terrible. How long were y'all together? We all feel sad for you. I love you too, Annie. Okay, I'm looking for some comments. This is really, really sad. Now, I want comments that are telling me stuff. How exactly does it spread? People who were sitting 4 feet away from people, like in the ship, are contagious. The doctor of the ship, he got it. And I found a video. If you look into my, I can play some of these for you. Let me go to my Hantavirus video. Let me go to my playlist. I'll show you some things because I've got this giant TV here. Boom, boom, boom. Because I'm at home at the late. Warning, strange coincidence. Why would that be private? Hantavirus. Here we go. Let me find the one about the girl. Because I have good ones. Seconds of Horror. Seconds of Horror, like Hours of Horror is a good channel. Hold on. I'm not ignoring y'all. I want to find. There was a woman doing a really good job covering it last night, too. And she was on a regular news channel. I was really shocked with all she was telling us. Spill. All right, this is the video y'all need to go watch.
He went on to list a series of drugs seemingly related to the study, including living virus and infected cells.
Oh, it's not shock, it's spill. I'm sorry.
Parasite functions, growth, decay. Were these messages evidence that Jeffrey wanted to manufacture a virus?
I'm not okay. I've got to go check my mother's food. I'm gonna leave this playing so y'all can hear it. I'll be right back.
There were also a number of messages related to the vagus nerve, which is part of the parasympathetic
How would I do that?
system that carries signals from your brain to other parts of
Hot tub's on the front porch and the back porch.
heart rate, speech, and immune response. In 2014,
The vagus nerve, that's it. The vagus.
New York Times article on hacking the nervous system through bioelectronics.
Happy birthday, Jamie. What up? Happy birthday.
Impulses. A person whose identity has been redacted responded.
I'm gonna let y'all listen to this real quick.
Just the beginning.
I'll be right back.
The interface for the nervous/immune systems, but so much more.
I have to check on my mother's food. I'll be right back. Listen to this thing.
That Jeffrey and this mystery person were involved in some sort of research or experiments involving the vagus nerve and the immune system. But what? Perhaps an email to Jeffrey from 2009 holds the answer to that question. Just checking in to say hi. A person whose identity has been redacted wrote Jeffrey before adding. Help me think about how testing of vagus is storage medium and passageway for pathogens. Yes, pathogens. You know, those teeny organisms that include bacteria, parasites, and viruses. When it came to these messages, people like TikTok user Carly Dennison feared the worst. This person is really curious about wanting to know more about the vagus nerve and obviously to like hijack our nervous system. And as viewers connected the dots between Jeffrey's emails and the autoimmune diseases every woman seemed to suddenly have, and the damage COVID could do to the vagus nerve, the conclusion being reached wasn't pretty. So the billionaires are funding biological warfare instead of universal health care. Got it. These weren't the only unsettling emails regarding the vagus nerve in the files. Our team dug up a 2017 email from Dr. Stanley Rosenberg that included a link to their book on the vagus nerve, the manuscript of which also shows up in the files. A person whose identity has been redacted then messaged Jeffrey, "We have been ahead of the curve." Pretty ominous, right? In another email from 2013, a person whose identity was redacted wrote Jeffrey, "Vegas will end up being key. since it is only linked between enteric and central nervous systems. They then connected the vagus nerve to
I'm back.
Parkinson's and ALS.
You look up ALS on Google. I have my computer right here. Cause is
Hi,
not
JD
known.
Price.
Environmental, genetic.
I'm going to read comments of this. So basically why I was showing you that stuff is because, you know, I think, I'm sorry I don't look pretty today. It's just a day at the lake. All right. I'm going into comments. I'm reading comments. I'm not ignoring y'all, but I only want to read the ones that actually, you find people in here telling you things that they're, you know, that's how I learn a lot of what I learn. The elites are not human. Reptilian, maybe? Vampires. Possibility. Oh, yeah, another thing. It's about all the scientists that went missing. Maybe the ones right at the end were not down with this, letting out this virus on people. Maybe they had some kind of ethics to them. And so they got rid of them. I'm looking for good videos, not ignoring you. I mean, good comments. The Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation funds millions of dollars worth of research in infectious disease. Oh, by the way, do y'all know there's already what's it called? A vaccine for this virus? Imagine that. Came out in 2022. Never trust the elites or the government. Molesting kids until you have to get rid of them. Sick people. Somebody said we should look up that Weimar Republic after reading about the Epstein files. It's eerily close to what Epstein was doing. You know, he wasn't the only one. Interesting to consider. They favor getting rid of the basis for their source of blame, unless, of course, you're believing, unless, of course, you're of the belief they were upon research to create those blank in a lab environment to be perhaps more complicit or disposable. Yeah, that's true. I'm going to go off here in a minute if there aren't people on here because I pretty much told y'all everything I know, and I study better when I'm not live. So goodbye. I'll be back. Like Arnold Schwarzenegger. I'll be back.